There you go. Now I got my messages up, my chats.
Right.
Well, you're going to get a PowerPoint that's never been done before.
Wow. I'm excited.
We're launching a whole new series for Dr. Michael Explains, all updated for 2020. And
Cool.
we've got new programs going and all that stuff. So you're the first one to get the updates.
Thank you, my brother. Let me make you a co-host so that you can share on the screen later. I was just trying to search. I download a photo of you kissing my daughter when she was only 6 months old. You still remember that photo?
Dude, you realize that Skylar just turned 11?
Serious?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Amazing. Now, guys, if you have not heard of that Skylar story, the one that story, afterwards you either see it on Zoom at the same time you want to film it. That is one miracle of a story. I'm telling you. That is, by the way, bro. Let me tell you this. That is also the story that really got me fired up to really think that hey, we've got some amazing things in our hands. Let's go out there and change the world. It's really amazing. Yeah. Okay, we have 5 minutes to the session today. So before I officially call up Dr. Michael, let me just play you this video, which I believe is a very good video to see, so that it again, how should I say? It again gives you the confidence that we are in the right industry. All right, let me just share this and let's see this video. All right, guys. Okay.
The world is changing faster than ever. What used to take decades is now taking years or even months.
What you see right now is the illusion that people have had for many decades about the workplace being this secure place to work the rest of your life. First time in the history of our nation, our children won't have to expose us.
We've seen our friends get laid off. We've been laid off. We've had our pay cut.
People are overworked and underpaid. They seem to have less time and less freedom. They live under constant pressure. This is going to be forced.
And so even if your employer loves you, you make the American country.
There's something wrong. That on Monday morning, the heart attack rate increases by 35%. Technology is accelerating, job security is declining. It just doesn't seem like the old models of making a living are as reliable as they used to be. Every aspect of our lives, there's a better way out there, but we still do it the old way. We live in the greatest country on the planet, and there are a lot of people sitting around complaining and being cynical.
Like everyone's whining about this old model, and I'm like, why don't you leave it? Look at all this over here. Look at all this opportunity.
Since so much of our lives revolves around our work and the way we make our living, many people are thinking there just has to be a better way.
The biggest challenge facing our world today is not making money. It's what are we going to do that is based on the people. People are afraid that they're going to make the wrong decision. People are afraid of the unknown. People are afraid that maybe I don't have the skills. Hey, sports fans, industrial just get old because it's dead. It's done. That's why going to school to get a job is an obsolete idea. I'm studying paychecks. It's an industrial idea.
Amazing, right? So guys, I hope that again validate to you guys all that we are actually in the right industry. First and foremost, being an entrepreneur is always the best choice to me. Look at me on a weekday having an amazing life like Dr. Michael here, having an amazing life, a life of true freedom, getting to do whatever we want in comfort, right? So today, not only we are in the right industry, not only we have a great platform that gives us the best leverage, but we are also associated with a company that's product is second to none. As in, like, I've never heard of anything like this, like Kangen water. Okay, so most of y'all knows about it, but tonight we are going to have somebody very special to share with us from his point of view and from a very professional research point of view why we have the best product in the world that we can safely and confidently go out there and share it to the whole world. Okay, before I go on, we are 1 minute to starting. Let me just do this recording live to Facebook as well as to YouTube. All right, just give me a second, guys. You know, the funny thing is, I didn't realize that doing the session here in my Cameron home is a bit different because the network is a bit slower. So I hope you don't mind if there's a little bit of a lagging here due to the network difference compared to what I have, the infrastructure in KL. All right, so this is live. Go live on Facebook. Okay, and let me put it page. All right, let me go to the Kangen Power team. Okay, and let's see if it's live. Okay, I'll just like preparing. Okay, so we are. Let me see. We are 8 o'clock exactly. All right. Oh, the Facebook
8
is
a.m., man.
8. You are 8 a.m. in Atlanta. Yeah, I like what you said yesterday about some. I live in the future or past, and you live in the future or past. What did you say?
Yeah, I'm doing a presentation in the future, but you're getting it from the past.
I like that.
You've already done 8 o'clock this morning.
Awesome. Okay, let me see. Because some people wants to see this on the Facebook. It's not streaming. Let me try it once again, guys. Hope you understand. When you are doing something in the middle of a forest, you tend to get challenges like that.
Bruh.
Okay, let me just see if I can stream it on my iPad. Okay, here we go. Pairing live streaming preview. Awesome. By the way, Dr. Michaels, is Skylar with you there?
She's still in bed. She's 11.
She's still sleeping. Okay. Understand. All right.
We may stroll around if we're still on like 9:30, but
Okay.
yeah, 11-year-olds, 13-year-olds, the 16-year-old, the baby.
Right.
Household. Jackie is my business manager, and she's here.
Oh, okay.
That's
Awesome.
my oldest.
Awesome. Okay. I'm not sure why this is not going streaming on my Facebook. I'll just put it on my YouTube and probably I'll share it out to let me share it out to the Facebook later. Okay. Come on, let's get going. Okay. Okay, I tell you what, I'll just record this and I'll just record this to the
If you
cloud.
want to record it and send it to me, I'll upload it into my my YouTube
Definitely, I
account.
will. Sure. Okay, so since it's 8:03 now, let's get started. So once again, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time you are in your country. Yeah, Gary Gunn here live from beautiful Cameron Highlands here in Malaysia. And tonight we are going to have an amazing and an awesome a very good friend of mine and an amazing speaker, none other than Dr. Michael Donaldson. Let's all give Dr. Michael a big round of applause. Hey, yeah.
You gotta shake your hand.
Yeah. You know
How
what?
is it? So we got people from India and from
the
everywhere.
list goes on. Okay, we from what I've been seeing just now, we have people from India, people from Singapore, people from Cambodia, people from Thailand, people from Vietnam, people from Malaysia. I can see that people from Norway, people from America. Did I miss out? Oh, from Qatar, from Norway, I can see that. Yeah, and Sri Lanka. Dr. Michael, you are a superstar, man.
We went global today.
you
Yeah,
see the
it's
count-
amazing.
Did you see the counter there? We are about to hit 400. Can you see that? That's three
I'm seeing
numbers
that.
to 400. Now, we just hit 400. Yeah. I'm very sure we'll hit 5. While you are talking, we'll hit 5. We have Indonesian, people from Indonesia. Wow. Talk about United Nation. We have a United Nation right here. Okay.
Global
anyway,
impact.
Right. Before I call on Dr. Michael, let me just read out to you who is Dr. Michael, what's his background, so that you guys know where Dr. Michael comes from. So, Dr. Michael, and I believe Abigail is your wife, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Dr. Michael and Abigail are both chiropractors. So I believe it's something to do with the bones, right?
We'll straighten you out.
Yeah, straighten you out, right? And they specialize in alternative care therapies, and they are both biofeedback instructors, computerized allergy protocols, emotional recalibration, computerized nutritional assessment. Wow, your profile sounds like a NASA scientist, my friend.
I have a lot of NASA scientist friends, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
I actually use quite a bit of NASA tech at the house here, believe it or not.
Wow. And they are also endocrine stress specialists, whole body detoxification. They have 5 beautiful children, and of course, they are always loving the lake life in Atlanta. So once again, guys, let's put our hands together and welcome Dr. Michael. Whoa. Awesome. So first and foremost, Dr. Michael, I would like to say a big thank you for doing this for us. A lot of us have actually watched. Of course, I'm blessed enough to up close and personal with you, but a lot of us actually watch a lot of your videos. I think I remember the video that you talked about the potential hydrogen thing. You know, you did on the whiteboard. You do that, and that
was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a while ago. You look so different from then, right?
I'm younger.
Yeah. Thanks to Kangen. And of course, you did that fire thing that you burned the water and
the hydrogen,
the sparks coming out from the hydrogen gas. So and when the people found out that I'll be bringing you right into their living room, right into their dining hall, and right to their kitchen. 500. Yeah, we'll be. I'm telling you this, guys. We'll be hitting 500. Let's hit 600, guys. Let's explode the session tonight. So, all right. So since we have Dr. Michael's in the room, Dr. Michael Donaldson in the room. Now, Dr. Michael, the first time that I saw you, I still remembered in that hall, I think there was like 1,000 plus 2,000 people in Orlando. That was the first time I met you personally, right?
They had 3,600 people there.
Was it 3,600? Okay. So it was 3,600.
I had never been to an event. I walked in and I'm like, just kind of moseying on in, and they're like mobbing me, and I was like, whoa, what happened here? And then I wasn't one of the speakers. I was having dinner with Bobby Gradelli and one of the other guys, Brian.
Right.
And I made a statement. I said, that's actually not accurate. What you've got going on is X, Y, Z. And they were like, how do you know that? And I was like, because I'm a doctor and I use this clinically every day. and they put me on stage. I wasn't actually scheduled to be there.
Right.
I was just showing up to see what was going on.
But I remember you gave a speech that day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that talk of yours that day really opened my eyes because of Skylar's story. So can you do us all a favor by telling us again that amazing Skylar story? I think a lot of people, guys, okay, before that, if any one of y'all here wants to hear this amazing Skylar story on Kangen water, just give me a 2. Press a 2. I want to see like a F1. Can you see that F1 thing there? Just everybody press a 2. Wow, look at that names coming up. Look at that.
Dude.
Woohoo!
Zach,
We have
it's
500. Dr. Michaels, we have 500. We just hit the max tonight. We have 500. Give everybody a big round of applause. You guys are amazing. Awesome. We just hit 500. All right.
That's awesome.
So everybody wants to hear. Okay, so it's a majority win, Dr. Michael. So please share with us this how even you got started and that Skylar story is really amazing. Over to you, Dr. Michael.
It really is incredible. So I had been in practice for years before Skylar was born. I'd been in practice for 10, 15 years. And the long story short was she was born with what's called gastroschisis, which means all of her insides were on the outsides. Like her stomach, the belly button never closed up around the cord. So her stomach, her liver, her pancreas, her spleen, small intestine were all on the outside. If we end up doing the actual PowerPoint, I got a couple pictures in there. But it was a horrific day in the fact that, I mean, your daughter's literally born inside out. And so they ended up doing they started to put the bowel back in what's called a silo, and it actually ruptured. And when it ruptured, it ended up taking a colostomy, and she had it for about 8 weeks. And then when they reversed it, it actually started to blow out another section. They had to take out part of the bowel. She had another colostomy. So she was in the Scottish Rite Children's Hospital here in Atlanta for almost a year. And 2 weeks before her first birthday, when they sent her home, she had 100 hours a week of home health care. And one of the biggest issues, because historically, the concept was water is absorbed in the bowel. And so when your bowel shut down, you would go into acute dehydration syndrome. And it was this acute dehydration syndrome that created all the problems. And so I went through every pill, potion, tablet, water machine, water ionizer, filter, vortex, you name it, I'd been through all of them. And it was insane. Her second year, like I said, she had 100 hours a week of home health care, and it was her third year that she went into failure to thrive. And she wasn't gaining any weight. She wasn't digesting fats. She wasn't digesting proteins. They weren't breaking down, and they're like, we don't know what to do. And this lady, a patient of mine, came in, and she starts giving me the typical, I hate to say rhetoric, but, oh, pH water will fix everything. Oh, it's this, and my water machine can save her life, and it just couldn't. Because I've already tried everything. And so long story short, after about 6 weeks, we got when the last test results came in, we got the news, and I ended up, you need something? And it ended up that we ended up trying the water. And what really happened was the doctor, I literally wrote on the whiteboard that y'all have seen, and I was just taking notes from the doctor, and the patient was laying on the table. She literally just said, Dr. Michael, Skylar doesn't have to suffer because you're too stubborn to try the water. Right. And I looked at her like jaw drop. I was really ready to cuss her out. And that still small voice was like God just saying, just shut up and try the water. And so I said, you know what? Bring me some of your water. I'll try it. I'll give it to her, and then I'll run a test, these exact tests in a month, and I'll prove to you it doesn't work. She was like, okay. And so the rest is kind of the history. I mean, she brought the water in. When we got home, I told Abigail about the results, and we kind of cried a little bit, and then started her on the water. And it wasn't like we did anything massive. It was just like, here's 9.0, 9.5 water. Here's a jug. We put it in her sippy cup. But within 4 days, like 60, 70, 80% of her symptoms had started to reverse, and she was hydrating, and she wasn't crying, and it started to clear the C. diff. And I was like, well, that's crazy. And so then I'm like, so Amy, yeah, we're seeing some clinical changes, and we'd like to try some more water. Is it working? Well, we're seeing some significant changes. Can I try? Is it working? Yes, it's working. I'm eating crow, and I need water to wash it down. Can I have more water? And so she brought me a couple gallons, and Jackie actually was like, oh, that's cool. I'll drink some. And the next thing you know, it kind of clicked with her headaches. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. And we were about 10 days out, and the next thing you know, Skylar screams bloody murder and in panic because there's a snake in the potty. And what it ended up being was that she'd had her first solid bowel movement. And so I was like aghast. So I did what every good parent does. I took the camera, I took a picture, sent it to my wife, and said I'm buying a machine. I didn't buy it for the science. I didn't buy it for the research. I haven't. I literally did it because my daughter pooped. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And then within 6 months, she was off feeding ports. And, you know, I set out to go, all right, people need to know this water is different. And I still didn't even know what I know now. I was just like, okay, there's something different. The way it breaks it apart, A plus B equals Z. Like, it didn't make sense, but it worked. And so I set out to put the pieces together and create a format. In fact, we've got a new healthcare providers manual that we're getting ready to launch. We'll give your healthcare providers a discount here at the end if they want to use it. But, you know, it's got all the clinical research. It doesn't talk so much about Enagic because it's the science of electrolyzed reduced water and what makes it so different and how you can help people and how you can educate people and, you know, what we use it. Because I don't build like your traditional team. I'm more like I put a chiropractor in, we educate patients. We put a chiropractor in, we educate patients. We put a naturopath in, we educate patients. So it's a little bit different for us. We go a little bit more of a durable medical, but the change was just phenomenal. And so that was the.
Can I ask you, Dr. Michael, why were you so skeptical at the beginning towards Kangen?
I had tried 8 different. It was like the 8th water machine that I tried.
Ionizers?
Yeah, all of them. I mean, I could list them, but I don't want the liability. I mean, it was just like right down the line.
Right.
And the one that I actually had at the time, the plates had flaked off, and there was a bunch of mold in the line, and so all my kids got sick. So I was one of those strong opponents of alkaline ionized water. And again, alkaline ionized water is not the same as electrically reduced water. It's very different. Most of y'all don't know this, but if you take your filter out of your machine and put your cleaning cartridge in,
Yep.
it's still going to change the pH. It's still going to change the water. It has nothing to do with the filter.
Yes.
And every other unit on the market has to have the filter because that's where the minerals are. So
if you take the minerals from those machines, you take the filter out from those machines, it's not going to work, right?
it doesn't work right at all. And even still, because they're so low powered, it won't hold the charge. If you were to take any of the competitor plates and put them in our machine, you would actually melt the plate. They always talk about square
inches. Yeah.
Square inches. But
Yes.
if it's a big square, all things being equal, but one is twice as thick, you can hit it with twice the amount of current.
Right.
The fact is our plates are 3 times thicker and twice as large. So you can get a lot of current through those. And that's actually what creates the stable water ionization.
Right. So in other words, our machines are built for a workhorse production, right?
It's basically what I call a lightning strike in a box.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
the equivalent of having an electrical discharge hit the lake or an ocean, and it breaks those bonds.
Right. Do you by any chance have the photo of the before and after of Skylar?
Oh, I've got a whole PowerPoint if you want me to switch to it.
Yeah, maybe if you can do
Let me see.
do a share screen over there. You can see it. Guys, you should really pay your attention and look at this. This is really, really amazing. I call this one of those amazing personal sharing from a.
I actually got to interview Dr. Phil back in Thanksgiving last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was cool.
Okay.
Any which way, so there's the picture of Skylar. Everything that was supposed to be inside was on the outside is in that tube.
Wow.
This is the hydrated version, and this is the dehydrated version. There's about 4 hours between these two pictures.
When you said hydrated, what do you mean by hydrated?
She had normal volume. She was doing well. Her bowel hadn't shut down. When her bowel shut down, she would start to dehydrate rapidly.
So it just drops very quickly, right?
Yeah, part of the reason that we had so much healthcare is we had to weigh her every hour, all day long. In case the bowel shut down, we had to rush to the emergency room. And it's kind of crazy when they say don't wait for the EMTs, just get in the car, go fast, call 911 and tell them you need an escort to the hospital.
How long have you had to go through this so-called journey of this off and on emergency kind of case?
She was 3.5 when we discovered the water, and she was 4 when we removed the Mickey button. It was a while.
Okay.
All right. But yeah, and so when we did it, we were like, wait a second, you've got all these different types of waters. What's going on here? Tap water bottle, RO water is what they use in most hospitals because it's so sterile. It's also the most acidic. And so you really run into those things. And, people talk about drinking bleach and that stuff, but when you look at how much chlorine is in municipal water supplies, it's scary.
Right.
We use it to wash our fruits and veggies. On the pH scale, if you think about your body as a aquarium, you'll see that it's a very different thing in the fact that nobody in their right mind would pour a 2 liter of Sprite into that. Let's just top it off with a little vodka. It'd kill all the fish. It'd kill the coral. And yet we have the same filtration, oxygen. And so just imagine what that looks like. That's literally what people look like on the inside when they drink all that garbage. They don't think of it as like, you mean I can get mold in there? Yeah. And that's what makes electrolytes reduced water better is, like I said, it was a miracle before our eyes in the fact that 80% of her symptoms seemed to significantly improve within days. 10 days of bowel movement, 6 months, we removed the port. Like, that just doesn't happen. And there's Skylar.
Look at that. Amazing.
She likes to go on the boat, but she doesn't necessarily want to be on the water. She does love the tube, the floaty tube.
Okay.
So,
Dr. Michael, before you go on, Dr. Michael, can I just ask you one question? In her case, all her inner thing was outside, right? So how did Kangen water, with its properties, how did it actually reverse her symptom back to normal? Are you able to give us a light in that area?
Well, so what happens is they actually got them all tucked in surgically, but they had massive amounts of inflammation, and it was literally an electric potential. when we talk about cancer and electrolyzed reduced water, basically what happened is the mitochondria shuts down and there's no energy, so it burns sugar. Well, when you're using electrically charged water with enough oxygen to reactivate the mitochondria, your energy levels skyrocket.
Right.
So you add in the ability to start healing, and then the other component of it is the hydroxide ion, which flushes all the inflammatory enzymes, flushes all the tissues, detoxes all the cellular matrix. So on the one hand, she was losing all the toxicity that she had. She was increasing her energy levels, and it allowed the body to heal itself. I would love to tell you that there's some great magic motion. The reality is the water gives you oxygen, hydrogen, and hydroxide with an electrically charged water molecule that can actually get into your cells. There's no real other magic. It just seems like it's like, wow. No, it's
Yeah.
and
I
then
mean, the first time when I heard it, it's magic to me. Magic.
it's Harry Potter all the way for me. It's the Jedi water, if anything.
Yeah.
So, and people talk about it and they say, well, it can't be good for you because, water doesn't get electrocuted. And I'm like, no, technically all the water on the planet gets electrocuted.
Right.
That's what happens when lightning strikes lakes and oceans. They just put it in a box that was small enough to put on your countertop.
Right.
And this is answering your question. It's called actually the dissociation of water. And so what happens is you have a water molecule here, and it zaps it, and it breaks it apart. So you get your hydrogen, your oxygen, your hydroxide, and it restructures it with a high charge.
Okay.
And then this was what we were just talking about. So here's a cell. That's what's called an aquaporin. That's the fastest way to hydrate. If you have low quality water, you can't hydrate. The reason people were getting water only through the bowel is because they had poor digestion and a leaky gut. And that's what actually fixed it. So then what happens here is when the cells compress, they excrete CO2 and toxins. That's why it needs that charge, because it works like a pump. Out with the bad, in with the good. Out with the bad, in with the good. And so that's literally what's going on. And so if you realize that oxygen and nutrition are going in and you're getting rid of CO2 and toxins, your buffering stays in place. Overly scientific, but the molecular hydrogen is actually what charges the membrane. You get oxygen here. You've got your free electrons here in the Krebs cycle to create energy, and you can get rid of you can get as technical as you want, but that's why if you look at that part of having the energy and the mitochondria working, it's like getting 36 gallons of gas, but if it shuts down, you only get 4.
Oh, okay.
So you're actually getting 900% more energy. I'll have another drink at that too. I've been drinking Ukon tea.
Cheers.
And that's really what makes it different is the electrical charge. Most of the other units that we were just talking about, like with the filters and whatnot, they literally add, I hate to say chemicals because they're minerals, but they're usually insoluble, and they really build up in the tissues and they create a lot of problems. That's all your bottled waters, even your RO machines where they have a remineralizer. You got to be really, really careful because it builds up in the kidneys, the heart, and the cardiovascular. When you have an electrolyzed reduced water machine, it just blows that water molecule apart, and you have the components, so you're not doing any damage. Doesn't affect stomach acid. Charge only lasts for 3 or 4 days, so it's not like it's going to build up in your system. And so there really isn't any clinical research that says, hey, this is a bad thing. Everyday uses, we've got it for hydration, getting the good stuff in, the bad stuff out, carries more oxygen, removes more CO2. I don't know if you can see over there, but there's pesticides that were on the fruits and veggies there. And that's what actually comes off from the pesticide standpoint when you use the 11.5. Ours is the only water machine that produces strong 11.5 because what happens is when you make hypochlorous acid, which is the 2.5, you get HOCl, but you get HNA, which is a mild solvent that breaks down petroleum bases. And all of your pesticides are based on petroleum, so they don't wash off in the rain. So, you can use it for cleaning. I've got all the clinical research that everybody wishes they had. I can make claims that aren't claimed because I've got the lab reports, but we use it for E. coli, we use it for staph, MRSA, strep, Kripke, and it's completely biodegradable. In our new Dr. Michael Explain series, they've actually I bought one of the several $1,000 ATP meters, and I swab the counter and spray it with a 2.5, and it comes back surgical grade sterile. So, from a clinical standpoint, because Dr. Michael, when we teach doctors,
You need some hydration, bro.
it got really humid all of a sudden. Anyways, so while electrolyzed reduced water for us felt like a cure, it absolutely wasn't. It was the missing piece. Anybody that is in a healthcare crisis, you're 72% water. And so if you take the healthiest person and the sickest person, you can put them on an equal playing field just by changing their water. And I talk to chiropractors. I brought on a lot of naturopaths, a lot of physicians, a lot of healthcare providers lately. And I'm like, cool, you did this, and that's amazing. That's incredible. So you're doing a really good job with a 28% of your patient that's not water. What are you doing with the 72% that is? And they go, I never thought about it. And so when you put the best water in, you have the best potential for healing. There's a lot of clinical research, oxidative stress, neurology, anti-aging, diabetes, free radicals. Hypochlorous acid for sterilization is absolutely phenomenal. We've been using it in wound care in hospitals for years. It's one of my lab reports. And like I said, so there are other electrolyzed reduced water machines on the market. They're just, in my opinion, not as good. And we're the only one that produces hypochlorous acid. Now that's the 2.5 button, and it works on just about anything and everything. When you look at Nagic as a company, though, they've got a 40-year history. They're the only one that is actually what's called an OEM. And to be an OEM means you have 100% control of the quality of the products, the quality of the wires, the quality of the resistors, the filters, every single piece isn't just bidded out to the lowest bidder. It costs more because it actually costs more.
Yeah.
And there's a control factor, and that's why we've won all the water certifications. We're called a category king. It's kind of like everybody else and a Nagic. But really our company has the only one that produces the strong 11, the strong 2.5. And that gives it a lot more diversity in use. Here's some of the plate things that you were talking about. See all the corrosion here?
Right.
That's actually where the plates got scorched because they got too hot, mold in the lines. So when I took apart all of the competitor stuff. And I'm like, that was going into my kids. Me is one thing, but that was going into my kids.
Right.
And so it was like, oh my gosh. And so quality really becomes a part.
Yep.
Big fan of the K8. It produces the highest ORP. It has the hypochlorous acid. It has the strong cleaning water. It removes pesticides. It works as a degreaser. It just does it all. I don't know if you know much about the Anespa. I'm sure you use one.
Yes,
but
we do. But
I did not realize our shower unit is the only one in the world.
Wow. Please tell us more.
So these tufa minerals that come out of the Japanese hot springs,
right?
Did you know that they are regulated by the Ministry of Health and they're actually labeled as a medical cure in the Japanese journals. Like, if you have this health condition, you go soak in these hot tubs.
Wow.
The largest.
That's right. I didn't know about it. Amazing.
You're welcome. I try to raise the bar, man.
Guys, okay, guys, do y'all know that this thing happens in Japan? If you are same like me, you don't know, just give me a 2. Just write a 2, press a 2 there. I don't know about this. Amazing. See, look, everybody doesn't know. This is great stuff, bro. I don't know.
I told you, we're leveling up. It's 2020. I got all the hindsight now, bro.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
And so what happens is, like, if you have eczema, psoriasis, skin conditions, cancers, arthritis, they say you need to go to these hot springs. Well, the most powerful hot spring they have is in Hokkaido. And if you actually type in Hokkaido hot spring, they'll say that this is the hot spring by which all other hot springs are judged. The radium tufa minerals there have more concentrates than anywhere else in the world. So it's heavily regulated. And it's also where Mr. Oshira bought the mineral rights to buy the tufa minerals that go into our shower unit. Nobody else in the world does that. But game over.
So are you saying, Dr. Michaels, the thing that is making that so-called miracle effect is the stones that are inside the NA spa?
The only ones that, it's the only machine that does it. And so, like I said, that's all regulated. Now, is it the same high quality as soaking in? No, because that's like a milk bath almost. But you're getting the same exact effects,
Right.
long-term benefits, because you're bathing in it every day instead of 20 minutes 3 times a week.
Right.
And so, it's a concentration level of, you're sitting in a hollowed-out thing of tufa versus you're working it. So it's not quite as intense, but it still has the exact same overall effect on a smaller scale. And what most people don't realize is they worry about chlorine, but they don't know why. They're like, yeah, chlorine's bad. It's going to kill you. Why? Because it's going to kill you.
Can you tell us more?
What
What's
happens
the problem with chlorine?
is the binding agent that makes your thyroid work. And when the thyroid shuts down, that compromises your immune system. It shuts down your metabolism. It does all of those things. And so people gain weight, they become sick, they become tired, and it wears out the endocrine system. Well, chlorine competes for the binding site, iodine binding site in the thyroid. So that's why if you go to a pool and you swim,
Okay.
you feel exhausted when you're in a pool that's got chlorine in it.
Right.
You literally just poison yourself. Now,
Wow.
you would never think to go grab your water bottle and take a whole quart or a liter of whatever, that water, and just drink right from the pool, right?
Yep, that's true.
You just wouldn't do it. But even in like I said with the new Dr. Michael videos, we're actually showing the chlorine absorption into the body. It takes you 60 seconds. I can fill this glass with tap water, stick my hand in it, and within 60 seconds, I've absorbed all the chlorine out of it into my body.
Gosh, never knew that.
And so, your kids are out there. What you don't realize is your absorption rate is 1 quart,
Wow.
a little over a liter, per every 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you guys are gallons or liters, but you basically get as much chlorine as in a gallon of that pool water every hour you're in the water.
Wow.
So it just destroys the thyroid. So that's a really big piece of the puzzle. And so when we sell a lot of trifectas because we've got people with health issues. This is the number one way we can rebuild their body and their endocrine system to prevent the toxic uptake.
Right. Jaber Al-Mazugi, I believe is from Dubai, asked how does it treat thyroid? Do you recommend this as a solution for treating thyroid, Dr. Michaels?
All of our thyroid, we use it for all of our patients. But like I said, what happens with the thyroid is it filters out chlorine. But a lot of stuff filters out chlorine. this will get the trihalomethanes and the dissolved gases and stuff, chemicals and pollutants as well, because the filter's just insane. I mean, you've probably taken it out and been like, that's disgusting. But and so what happens is you're no longer putting in the chlorine, and then you're using this tufa mineral that helps heal the body.
Right.
So it's a critical piece, in my opinion, for getting people well.
So if you are suggesting the Kangen water together with the NS Spa, right? A combination, right?
I sell 90% trifectas, actually.
Wow.
So we sell the K8 NS Spa and a year's supply of Ukon.
Wow. Guys, if you are fairly new on this show, a trifecta means buying 3 products from Energic. So what Dr. Michaels is trying to tell you is he recommends the Kangen machine, whether it's a SD501 or the K8. The second one is for your shower because of the external effect and the chlorine and all that, which is the NS Spa. And the third one, which I believe, Dr. Michael, you'll be sharing, is on the Ukon, the turmeric.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to kind of finish up on the shower unit, though. So, my daughter was near death, so I tried the water, and I didn't buy a shower unit. I was still pretty stubborn, and we went to a friend's house.
Right.
And he's like, oh, well, you can use our shower in our master bedroom because it's got an NS spa. And I was just kind of like, that's a little weird, man. He goes, what, you don't use an NS spa? I'm like, and I never have showered at my friend's bathroom just because. He's like, no, man, just go in there. And so anyways, we go in there, and Abby's like, wow, this is incredible. And I'm like, it's water. Well, it helped clear up her skin because she'd had adult acne issues for years. Right. And she said, we are buying one of those. And like every good husband, I go, you know how much they are? I don't care. It'll cost you a lot less than getting facials, everything. Okay, we'll buy it. Well, what happened is my hair had been falling out. Within just a few weeks of using the NS Spa, my hair stopped falling out because the chlorine at the house was going down these hair follicles, and the chlorine was sterilizing the root.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really quite amazing. And you don't realize, like I said, if you go to the gym and you jump in the hot tub, it's got like, first you open the gate and it feels like you've just entered a gas chamber. Right. But if you get in that water for 10 minutes, you just drank a quart of that water.
Wow. And many people don't see that, right?
It's crazy. So yeah, really dangerous. The turmeric, on the other hand, which is the Ukon that we were talking about, if you go to PubMed, NIH, whatever, and you just type in turmeric or curcumin, it'll blow your mind. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of articles. It's been researched for centuries. The problem with turmeric is you have to pull it out of the ground and eat it pretty quick, or it oxidizes. If you don't, you end up with an oxidized turmeric that doesn't really have the health potential. So the biggest issue is like if you go buy it at the store and you like the spice, as soon as you open it, if you don't eat it all within 24, 48 hours, it's kind of over. And then, with any of the capsules and supplements and all that stuff, they oxidize within the first couple of days. Right. So what Enagic did is they said, look, we've got this phenomenal product. We've got the perfect area to grow this stuff. So then you've been to the fields, right? They irrigate the fields, they process it with 11.5, they clean it with 2.5, and so they solve that problem. I personally really prefer the tea over anything. I take the capsules, but I like the tea. When I drink the tea, I don't feel my age. I definitely never act my age, but I definitely don't feel my age. So I do a lot of the tea. Right. It's really crazy good. On the new, I've got separate. I've got like water. I've got a shower. I've got an Ukon. I've got a trifecta. we've got all the Dr. Michael Explains videos, but the new science research coming out for turmeric and curcuminoids, it's going to be killer.
Awesome.
Anyways, so that's literally the trifecta that we were just talking about. So I obviously drink my Ukon tea, and I have my water, and I take my shower in the Nest Spa, and that's literally why we recommend it as part of our health program. In fact, that's the whole reason that we've created what we call the Doctor's Water Manual.
Okay.
And we've put the whole thing together for healthcare providers to be able to go, look, this is the clinical application of what we need to be doing. It's got implementation. It's got the clinical research. The Dr. Mike, you get a license with the Dr. Michael's videos. We even have email programs that are like, hey, if you have XYZ, here's how electrolyzed rich water can help, what it does, what you should avoid, why you should do this. And we've just got it all in a sequence, and we do all that stuff. So we're getting ready to launch that. And then we've automated our platform. You and I talked about that freedom stuff, that automated for business and personal growth. So we're really trying to make it available, and all this is available for everybody. They don't have to be part of my line. We're just educating and teaching everybody so they can use the platform. They can sign up and buy that. They can buy the manual. I think right now, Katie told me that the manual, it's not completely finished, but it's going to be $9.97. But if the pre-sale will be $4.97. So if anybody wants it, they can just reach out with questions or ask. There's my emails. Contact me and say, hey, let's get this. But we can put all the clinical research. It gives you access to all the new Dr. Michael videos, all that.
Awesome.
Anyhow.
Great stuff there, man, brother.
Wow.
Okay, they are 500, right?
48 million questions.
There are a lot of questions. Okay, let me go one by one with you, all right? Somebody, Raymond Rees from Philippines asked, what is your take on our 2.5 with the coronavirus, COVID-19? What's your take on that, doctor?
Do you want my take? I already have the clinical research. I know how long it takes to kill it.
Can you just upfront share it with us?
Actually, no, I can't. I get my butt in trouble.
Yeah. Guys, these are very sensitive questions, okay?
We don't worry about it in our house at all.
Okay. But you will recommend, right? You will
Absolutely.
recommend the 2.5, right?
If you have any other machine, the 2.5 won't work. It's only the Enagic machines that produce the hypochlorous.
Right. Okay. So guys, read between the lines, okay? He's not allowed to.
Like I said, I have the video with the AT meter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question from Rajneesh Sood. Sorry, I'm not sure where you're from. And he says, we see many ionizers claiming to be registered with FDA of US. Please clarify if Kangen water device has not opted to be registered with FDA voluntarily. As to my understanding, registration of Kangen water machine is not mandatory. Now, what's your take on that?
It's true. It's not a registered device, and it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
They don't. The crazy thing is the FDA doesn't regulate water sources. Makes you really wonder what's in your bottled water. No. So what happens is, because it produces hypochlorous acid,
right? If
it gets an FDA rating, I'm the only one here that's going to be able to sell these because it's a medical device in Japan. You get the FDA device because of the 2.5. You guys will only be able to sell the R unit.
Right. So you are saying that the lower versions are not, how should I say, not FDA approved or what?
None of them are FDA approved. They don't have to be.
Okay.
It's not a requirement by law.
So what's the big deal about people talking about FDA approved?
It creates the illusion. It's like everybody wearing the cloth masks.
Right.
You realize that actually is unhealthy, right?
But
Because
everybody's
what
wearing
happens
it.
is when you breathe out, so what happens is oxygen goes into a cell, gets in there, CO2 gets converted because CO2 gets used and it binds to the toxins, and it goes out into your bloodstream, goes back to your lungs where you breathe out the toxin. But when you do this, you're now breathing in the toxins. The ATP meter that I was testing went to over 2,400 with 30 minutes of use on a mask. Now, as far as protecting you from corona, that's like installing a chain link fence to keep out mosquitoes. Totally useless. It does absolutely nothing.
Gosh.
The weave of the pattern is so big that the coronavirus just migrates through it. If it really did work and you had one of these on, you wouldn't smell anything. I would be putting on a mask to go change Sophie's diaper. It just doesn't work. What happens is in a hospital environment that's pre-sterilized, you have a small source, so masks work really, really well. But then if you look at the way that the virologists, they're like in all over body suits with masks and and so the cloth masks actually do very little. But everybody thinks that it's a great thing to have. Bringing that back around, oh, the FDA has approved this, so it must be okay. And yet, how many things have the FDA approved that are making us violently ill?
Right.
The FDA has approved soda to be drank. It just says, hey, it creates cancer.
So, guys, those of y'all who are still asking about this FDA thing, I think Dr. Michaels has just explained why.
And if the FDA, because our machines produce hypochlorous acid,
Right.
that's what gets it our medical certification in Japan,
Right.
in Korea, and all those ways. It does actually create that. It does use that. It does have that. It's a medical device.
Right.
If you get an FDA certification, it then becomes a medical. It actually will be certified as a medical device, and you'll have to have certain reps and certifications in order to sell it, and then people won't be able to sell it.
Yeah.
So if it's not necessary,
Yeah.
big bag of worms, don't open that.
Yeah.
Unless y'all want to just stop making an income from it.
You're not just only
I like
yeah.
that, but now that I know about that Anespa on the Yukon, I could probably still do okay.
Yeah. But you know what, Dr. Michaels, the thing you shared about the NSPI is the first time I heard of it. It's amazing.
I tried it.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, are you able to share with us on the you remember you drawed on that whiteboard about why our machine is so superior, because it's not just a matter of the number of plates, because nowadays a lot of people are claiming, yours is only 7 plates, yours is only 8 plates. We have 13 plates, we have 11 plates. But you remember you showed that thing? What hydrogen do you call it?
There's the molecular hydrogen. Really what goes on is our plates, one, are larger, so we have more surface area. So then what they did is they added more of the thin plates to create the surface area.
Right.
But if you add enough current, you melt the plates because they're not strong enough to hold the current.
Right.
And if you don't have enough electrical charge, you're not going to break the bond sufficiently to maintain the charge. So there are, of the top 5 water ionizers, and we'll include the K8 and the ST501 as one piece. Of the top 5 water ionizers, the only one that I'm aware of that will even hold the charge for 12 hours is the Enad machines.
Is there?
Most all the machines last 2 to 4 hours on the charge. If you drink it and fill it.
Right.
You fill it and go to the office. By the time you're done with lunch, you're drinking filtered water with a high ORV.
That's amazing.
It just doesn't have the electric potential to hold it.
Right. So the holding it is the trick, right? It's all a matter of holding it, right?
Top 5, 2 of them, it lasts less than 10 minutes. So you fill your water bottle, you go to the gym, you're no longer drinking reduced water.
Wow.
You're even drinking ionized water.
Wow.
and here they have an FDA approval because it came out. They did it. It came out of the machine and it did what it said.
Right.
But if you go to the gym, it doesn't work. But it has an FDA approval. You see the.
How come they don't test on the long-lasting effect of the water?
Because I'm not in charge of the lab.
Sometimes it's all about this, right?
It's always all about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Regulatory service, it is all about this.
Exactly. Okay, Dr. Michael. Somebody asked you for diabetics with damaged kidneys. Do you think Kangen water can improve the kidneys?
Okay, so with kidneys, you got to be careful. There's a potassium issue. And I have people ask me this a lot. Unless I am actually part of the healthcare team coordinating their care, I don't recommend they do it because the kidneys have to filter out certain things. That said, if I'm co-managing and I can work with the doctors and we can create a highlight of what to look for, yeah, it works great. But just broad spectrum, people like dialysis and stuff, it gets real sketchy. And if you start looking at, my battery's about to die. What happens is when you start looking at all the different health conditions, if you say to somebody, oh my gosh, you need to drink my water, it's going to help. Mm-hmm. You literally just practice medicine without a license. So, and that puts us all at risk. That's a medical claim. And the FTC has globally gone crazy for people with making medical claims.
Right.
And so what happens is it's very different for me to say my white light is out. Hey, and that's where, like I said, and I keep bringing it back, we've got the manual, but the emails are based on, have you heard about how electrolyzed reduced water can help diabetics? What it does is the hydroxide ion flushes the glucagon that makes the cell insulin resistant. If you'd like to try some electrolyzed reduced water, let me know. That's not a, hey, my water cures diabetes. Or, hey, you need to try this. It's, here's the research, here's the information, check it out. When you want to try it, let me know. Very, very different. One is illegal and one works perfect.
Right. Amazing. Dr. Michael, we have other questions for you. In fact, we have a lot of questions for you tonight. Everybody posting me questions since they know that you are going to be on the show today. What components in the water, as in the Kangen water, that makes it an antioxidant, alkalizer, and microclustered water scientifically? What would you say to that?
You're going to have to say it again.
Okay. What components in the water that makes it an antioxidant, alkalizer, and microclustered water scientifically? Is there any component in the water that makes this water with these three properties?
So when you blow the water molecule apart,
okay,
what you end up doing is you create available hydrogen and hydroxide, and the ratio of hydroxide to hydrogen is what drives it to the alkaline side.
Right.
Microclustering is a marketing term that doesn't exist scientifically, but it describes a concept.
Okay.
So if I said that I had a bunch of magnets stuck together, like ball magnets,
right,
that's a clump, it's a cluster. If I increase the magnetic charge, they actually start to repel each other. So that's where you get the concept of microclustering. What you're actually talking about is a high versus low electrostatic charge on the outer rim electrons.
Right.
Yeah. Smaller group. In one of my earlier PowerPoints, you probably saw the bunch of grapes in the bottle of jug.
Yep.
break the grapes up, you're getting a smaller cluster that will go in the bottle.
Ah, okay. So that's how it scientifically explains that three properties in the Kangen water, right?
If you go research microclustering, there isn't anything because it doesn't
Yeah.
exist.
I tried it on PubMed and all that. I can't find. Yeah, I still remember you have a video done that you explain why this water doesn't change the litmus paper, but it actually shows a difference in the ORP meter. Are you able to explain that when litmus paper are used to test?
React to the chemical composition.
Come again?
Litmus papers react to the chemical composition.
Right,
You realize if you have a lot of extra hydrogen or hydroxide,
right.
shift the pH, but the instant it's absorbed into the cell matrix, it's neutral.
Okay.
That's why pH is technically irrelevant. I wish they would remove the 8.5, 9, and 9.5 moniker and
Okay.
go small, medium, and large.
Wow. That's
pH change because they say pH.
right.
It's like getting your FDA certification. It just creates all these other problems that are actually inaccurate.
Right.
So, and you'll have to follow me for a second.
Okay.
All electrolyzed reduced water.
Mhm.
All electrolyzed reduced water is alkaline.
Okay.
All electrolyzed reduced water is alkaline.
Excellent. Okay.
Not all alkaline water is electrically reduced.
Ah.
So I could take Sprite, put it in a Brita filter, add some calcium to it, and it now has a 9.5 pH. It is not electrical and it is not reduced. Looking at electrolyzed reduced water when they check the pH indicates that the process has happened.
Right.
It is not the process.
Amazing.
If they eliminated all the concept of pH,
Okay.
it'd be much easier to sell. Because everybody is going, oh, well, it's alkaline iodide. Well, this one says it's better. This one has a better warranty. This one's got more plates. This one, but alkaline ionizers dump calcium, magnesium, potassium, and hit it with a low current to meet the FDA requirements to say that it's an alkaline water ionizer, which it is, but it's not an electrolyzed reduced water machine.
So pH and ORP are two different things, right? pH is a measurement of potential hydrogen, while ORP is the measurement of reduced water, the electrical charges of the water, right? So does it mean when a pH goes up, does it always means that when a pH goes up, the ORP will go lower? Oh. Is that always the case? Not really.
If the electric charge goes up,
Yeah.
the pH goes up.
Okay.
Because it means that there's been more current applied.
Right.
Is it a stable current? Was it done long enough to maintain the integrity of the electrons? Correct. But just because the alkalinity goes up doesn't mean you have an ORP.
Wow. That's something we need to understand about. Yeah.
So we joke in Georgia. I used to restore antique shotguns years ago and build long range rifles for target shooting, little bitty groups at 1,000 yards. I'm a phenomenal shot. I'm better than most people in the world, but I'm not a sniper. But every sniper is a great shot.
Right.
But just a great shot doesn't mean I'm a sniper. You know.
Okay, I got you there. Another question, Dr. Michael. Would the acidity of the stomach counteract with the pH of Kangen water?
No, in fact, if you drink 12 ounces of 9.5 a half hour before you eat, and throw in a pinch of salt, you'll actually restore your um, bacterial flora in your intestines. You'll have enough hydrochloric acid to digest your food. Your GERDs will go away. You'll improve your digestion and a great many things. Because it's electrolyzed, it doesn't neutralize the stomach acid. As soon as it goes in, you actually hydrate the lining of the stomach, and now your mucosal cells can produce hydrochloric acid. So it actually improves digestion. You don't actually want to drink. People look at it like, well, why does it say don't drink it when you eat?
Yep.
You should never drink anything when you eat.
Anything, right?
Water, soda, milk, coffee, tea, scotch, wine, bourbon, beer, juice.
Soup.
You shouldn't drink any of it because it neutralizes the stomach acid.
Right.
You dilute it.
Because one of the biggest misconception a lot of people has is why you drink alkaline water or whatever when it goes into the stomach and it gets neutralized by the acid. That's what everybody thinks about, right?
I don't drink alkaline water.
Right. We drink reduced water, right?
Big difference.
Big difference, yes. Guys, if you are getting value from today's session with Dr. Michael, just put there a yes for us so that we know that you are still engaged on the session. Wow, all the yes coming out. Wow, like the F1. Okay, amazing. Guys, you know what? I know some of y'all have been posting your messages and your questions over there, but there's just too many of these questions are just flying in. So I've got to sometimes just look at the different windows. All right, Dr. Michaels, are you still there?
I am. I just got to handle something. Give me 1 second.
No worries. Okay, guys, while Dr. Michael is getting something done, this session is live on Facebook. I've already posted my link there. If you want, I can post it again. So if you need, let me just post it one more time.
I'm back.
Yeah, all right. If you need to go live or to send anybody to the live session on Facebook, feel free to go to that link that I placed there. Come again?
How many people are on Facebook?
Let me just have a look on Facebook. Facebook. Here we go. On Facebook, we have 162.
So we're at 560.
Eyes that are looking. So it's like probably about 600, right? 600 plus. Yeah. All right. More questions for you, Dr. Michaels. Why are there white powder in the water? You know, sometimes when you put into the container, and then you have this calcification on the side. And is it safe to be drinking this white powder in large amounts of over long period?
So here's the thing: you're already drinking that water,
right?
That's a source water issue. You probably need to get a pre-filter.
Okay. But even with some pre-filters, Dr. Michael, we noticed that there are still some calcification. Is there any way you can explain what are those calcification, or how did they even appear?
It's just the mineral content in your source water. It can be too much calcium. Your calcium level, a lot of people that have like limestone beds,
right?
That part of their aquifer, they're going to get a lot of extra calcium in their water.
So it is not something that is harmful to the body, right?
But it's just where you live, unless you're ready to move.
Okay. Let's just say you see those calcification on the bottle, and you still don't have the pre-filter, or with the pre-filter you still have that, and you still continue to drink over a long period of time. What do you think will happen?
Not much. You have to look at like your mineral content of your people that are centurions that live over 100 years. they all drink like glacier milk, which is loaded with ultra hard water.
Wow.
It's the highest concentration of minerals.
Right.
Hard water actually gives you more minerals than anything else.
Right. I mean,
It just depends on the source. I can't say that it will or that it won't do something. It depends on the source. Could be a potassium issue, could be calcium. If they have a kidney disease, it could be fatal. If it's
Right.
potassium.
right. Because some of them actually said that when that same filtered water just goes through a normal filter, they don't see the calcification. But that same filtered water goes through the Kangen machine, they see the calcification. That's where they are
I would be in
concerned.
touch with Magic on that one. I don't know.
Right. So that's Enagic's department. but guys, I mean, again, putting this aside, I mean, how many people have real big issue or probably died drinking this water? I'm not sure. I don't think so.
The funny part is,
Yeah.
they'll go drink a Red Bull.
Yeah.
They're worried about the white calcium in their water, but they'll go drink a Red Bull.
Because Red Bull is good, right? In the TV or in the commercial. All right. What's your recommendation, Dr. Michaels? Is 11.5 safe to drink, and is it safe to drink 2.5 in small amounts?
There is a clinical application for 11.5 with specific neurological conditions. As a rule, you shouldn't drink it at all for any reason.
As a rule.
Yeah, because it's not water. It's water plus sodium hydride. It's HNA. So when you take apart NaCl and H2O, you get hypochlorous acid and an HNA. That actually breaks down lipoproteins. This is what your cell membranes are made out of, and you create problems. So no, you don't want to drink 11.5.
But there are a lot of people who actually, I wouldn't say promote. They actually says that there's a lot of health benefit drinking the 11.5.
I know they're wrong.
Okay, especially chronic cases like cancer.
The results will be no different between 9.5 and 11.5, except you're going to create other issues.
Okay.
No, you're breaking down the lipid bilayer, and you're
Right.
breaking down your hormones, you're breaking down your fats, you're breaking down your neurological stuff. We'll have people that will do it like when they take cold-pressed organic coconut oil, for instance, for MCTs, depending on what they've got going on, but not like a liter, a quart, a gallon, whatever.
Right. So let's say, Dr. Michael, if you have somebody that has cancer, what's your recommendation on that kind of cases?
Say what now?
If you have somebody that has cancer,
I was reading somebody's thing about alkaline water. There was a question.
Yeah.
Like, it's not alkaline, it's alkalized.
can you actually explain to people what's the difference between alkaline and alkalized?
We just did. Alkaline water, they add calcium, magnesium, potassium to it. Electrolyzed, they actually break it apart, and the hydrogen and hydroxide ratio is what causes the alkalinity. Alkalized water is good, alkaline water is dangerous.
Right. So guys, again, the difference between alkaline and alkalized or reduced water is the one is the electrical changes and one is the chemical changes.
Yep.
So you need to be very, very clear about that. Okay, it's not the same. That's the reason why from day one we've been telling people don't go out there and tell people I'm selling alkaline water machine. You'll be getting yourself in problem and people will come and compare with you with all sorts of funny water out there.
It's an electrolyzed reduced water machine, which is a very different.
Guys, I can't seem to read your questions. The texts are moving too fast, you know. You have said for many years, okay, this from one lady from Perth, her name is Win. You have said for many years that you have not found any better ionizers than Energic machines. You have stated that you have not stopped looking for better ones. Does that standing or position regarding your water ionizers still stand for you?
Yeah, if I found a better one, I'd switch.
Okay. But so far, is there any better one?
We've got 30 or 40 of them and nothing comes close.
Awesome.
This was like number 8. A lot of, and here's the difference. A lot of people got into this for the business.
Right.
I got in this for my daughter's health. I'm in this for my daughter's health.
Right.
If I found something better for my daughter, I would use it, like we all would.
Right.
Simple fact is, I haven't found anything yet.
So your confidence in Energic is because of the product, right?
Absolutely, it simply delivers. There isn't actually another product on the market that does it. Let's just take whether you look at Alpha V, Tie-In, Echo, whatever their machine is.
Right.
This one has 57,000 plates and does all this other stuff. Okay, it may be equal to or slightly greater on a molecular hydrogen standpoint. But what about the 11.5? How long does the charge last? What about hypochlorous acid? So now you look at 10 categories within a water machine.
Right.
There are a couple machines that within the first couple hours, they actually produce more molecular hydrogen than the Kangen machine. It's just a fact. But you can't fill your water bottle, and at the end of the day, you're still drinking reduced water. You can drink it out of the machine, and it's really amazing.
Right.
And that's it. But, I don't stay by my machine all day.
Right. That's true.
And so now you look at the hypochlorous acid. Well, what are the benefits of hypochlorous acid? Are you talking about cleaning your house, cleaning your cut, cleaning a wound, taking care of your kids, sterilizing things in your house, any number of bacteria, molds, fungus, viruses, spores, growing plants, fruits, veggies, pesticides? Now what about removing pesticides from your fruits and veggies? What about breaking down the degreaser for your house? What about uptake of MCT oils? It's like, well, let's talk about molecular hydrogen. Fine, you can have it. It's better. So now, if you look at an Enagic machine, the R unit, in the US, it's like $1,900.
Okay.
Right? I don't know what it is there. But in the US, it's $1,900. So the charge on it lasts 18 to 24 hours. That is better than the 27 plate machines elsewhere. It literally lasts longer. It doesn't produce hypochlorous acid. Neither do the other machines.
Right.
It doesn't produce 11.5. Neither do the other machines. So now you're looking at anywhere from $3,500 to $7,500 for a non-Enagic machine that doesn't produce hypochlorous acid, that doesn't produce 11.5.
Wow.
And you can get one in either the R unit or the Junior for $24.
It's a no-brainer.
Well, you'd think it's a no-brainer, but
Somebody asked here, Dr. Michaels, does the Kangen machine takes out chlorine?
yeah.
It does?
Put the
Have
drop
you,
in.
have you tested it or something like that?
Don't you have yellow drops?
Yep, we do.
Do you see yellow? Does it show chlorine when you're done with the machine?
Yeah.
Let's be real, people.
Yeah.
Good. Just,
What
what's
about
cool is if you take
what
the
about-
filter out, most of the chlorine comes out the acid line.
right? What about heavy metals, Dr. Michaels? A lot of concern about heavy metals these days.
It's a thing.
Okay.
It's like 5G. They're just there.
Right.
We have to
But-
learn to adapt and manage. Pulling heavy metals involves oil pulling and chelation, and in the water, I would move. I'm just that guy.
Okay.
So I would never live in Flint River, Michigan because of the poison in the water, and I wouldn't. I'll drink bottled water instead because I love it here. It's okay. You can love it there. It'll just be a shorter lifespan.
Right.
Clinical biochemist.
Okay. Can Kangen water help patients with multiple sclerosis? What do you think about that?
Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what the condition is.
Okay.
It's superior hydration. Superior hydration addresses 72% of the problem.
Right.
However, if you're going to drink Kangen water and a 6-pack of Red Bull every day,
There
you
you
laugh
go.
at people that do that.
Right.
Oh, I drink Kangen water, it's fine. No, it's not.
Right.
That's just how it is.
Wow. Kangen water on eyesight improvement. Have you any experience on that, Dr. Michael?
There's some research articles on macular degeneration.
What generation?
Macular degeneration.
Okay. Right. When you talk to a scientist and doctor, they will ask about peer-reviewed paper on our pH 2.5 water as a disinfectant. What proof can we show them? How to approach doctor on, hey guys, you're still writing alkaline water. Hello, get that alkaline water term out of your head, man. How do you approach doctor on restructured water, Dr. Michael?
That's all I do. I mean,
Right.
for someone that's a lay person to go to a doctor and say you need to get this,
Right.
they just don't do that. They're continuing it. They go to their clinical research. That said, when I do people like that, I usually use them as sales reps to go represent me, even though it's their business.
Right.
Because they can't really talk to you. They can't send you their patients because of HIPAA compliance and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Right. And is it true that doctors, in their code of ethics, they are not, how should I say, not allowed to promote Kangen water? Is that
No.
true? So
Nope.
can they or can they not promote Kangen water?
All my doctors do.
Okay.
They actually promote electrolyzed reduced water, and the best machine we have found at this time is the Enagic machine.
Right. Okay. Herman Kumar from India is asking, can you explain PEU and why is it so important?
It's redundant, but it's the amount of current that you can put through those plates.
Right. So PU is actually the measurement of how powerful an electrolysis unit is, right?
Potential electrolysis.
Right.
So, for instance, if you had a certain voltage and a certain amperage,
right.
wattage combo,
Right.
if you can. An electrician is better to ask. You use a 14 gauge and a 12 gauge wire, you'll blow a 20 amp versus a 15 amp fuse. Why? Because it burns through it.
Yep. So one thing I like about you explaining that PU concept is, if you talk in terms of cars, like a 1000 cc is smaller than a 6000 cc car. But when you come to an electrolysis unit, we do not even have a measurement. So the way that you put on the PU part of it, it actually gives us a very clear picture on how to differentiate whether a system is much more superior and more powerful than the other. So the PO part is amazing.
It's a comparison. You got to realize,
Right.
the question is, they're all relevant. My daughter pooped.
Okay.
Lose sight of the fact that the water simply works.
Right.
You can get there's four types of people. Yellows are they want to take care of everybody. They want to talk about this and that, and they want to make sure everybody's taken care of. And
Right.
then the greens, they want to research everything and know it all and have all the science and understand and be ready for any and every question. The red zones don't care, just buy it. I'm blue. I just want to have fun.
Right.
You go party, yeah, you're gonna want to have some water when you're done, or you're gonna have a hangover.
Right.
You know, you want to be healthy, it's the best water you can drink.
That's true. Wow. Wow. So
I got about another 5 or 6 minutes.
yeah. Okay. What do you say to people who say that there is not enough evidence for this water, Dr. Michael?
What they're looking at.
Come again?
They should buy my research packet.
How can they get your research back, Dr. Michael?
We've got the whole manual going.
Okay.
It breaks down into, there's an implementation manual, a research manual. You can get the licensing and all that stuff. If you buy it all as a package, it's supposed to be $1,000 when it's done, but right now we're pre-selling it for $497, and you get everything: all the clinical research, the applications, the emails, the disclaimers. You get to license and use the Dr. Michael Explains videos. You get access to all the videos that are like, here's the sterilization video, here's the lab report showing sterilization effects, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
They just email me. drmichaelexplains@gmail.com is the easiest way.
Okay. So before we end today, Dr. Michaels, so much about the product. So I think we are so a bit groggy and overloaded with technicalities of the product.
We only have fun. That's the blue stage. We went all green, and it was like, can you explain
Okay. On to the other side of the picture.
electrons? And I'm like, where's the party, man?
Okay, on the other side of the picture, Dr. Michaels, how are you currently building your Kangen business?
I have an online. I partnered with a team, and we actually have an online platform where it teaches you how to draw people to an offer.
Okay.
And then we have all our own coaches. We have our own closers. They'll handle the financing. They'll put all the orders in for you. They have their own Facebook group. No hands-on. If you go to creatingwealthwithdrmichael.com,
Okay.
anybody can join from any line.
Okay.
It's $100 a month. But if you looked at it, you never had to do the coaching call. You didn't have to talk about the product. All of it's done. And then you get into like, what do you do for a daily life? How do you set goals? There's a 90-day implementation race. You know, like you work really hard for 3 months and you're like, I'm going to go on vacation for a while. And then you work 3 hard, and then they've got those programs already established.
Right.
They're working with top-level people, coaches. We have masterminds, webinars. If you refer somebody, you get $25.
Okay.
But they handle everything for you, so I don't have to be like answering questions. They do the webinars, they do the questions. I handle science questions. But like, how do you work on social media? What should I post? What shouldn't I post? Why am I not growing? How do I work on my gratitude? How do I set goals? It's all handled for you.
Right.
And that's Creating Wealth with Dr. Michael. I'll put it in the...
Okay. Maybe you can put a link on the chat, all right? Are you using the same platform with what Matthew Jang and team is doing?
I was involved with that. I've switched because it's a more Enagic specific.
Okay.
So if people share to...
How long have you been drinking the Kangen water, Dr. Michael?
We got it in 2012.
All right. 2012. 8 years ago. 1 year after me. Guys, the reason why I'm not continuing a lot of all these things is, number one, guys, you must understand that first and foremost, we are live on Facebook. So there are a lot of compliance issues that I need to be careful. Second is Dr. Michael also needs to protect himself. So let's get to the more fun part of talking about total freedom, all right? You don't want to all end up becoming doctors and NASA scientists, right?
You want to live on the lake and go jet ski when you're done.
Or come to Cameron and chill out with me in the forest. Yeah. Remember, guys, having said that we have a great product doesn't mean you have to be a scientist of the product or a doctor of the product, all right? So the product is good. It's good for you to do your business. The whole idea is still building your network, building your business. The goal of Energic and Mr. Oshiro is not to turn you into a Dr. Kangen. Trust me.
I'll be honest, it's the worst way to build a business.
Come again?
Being a doctor is the worst way to build a business.
And you are hearing this from a doctor.
No,
So-
my friends that do. That's why I use their automated platform. I just put in the chat to everybody. The link for my automated platform is Creating Wealth with Dr. Michael.
Right?
They're selling the business because they're reaching people's needs.
Right.
And Magic is a phenomenal product.
Right.
But the comp plan is just insane.
Right.
The products are equally insane. And he didn't want it to be, well, I would like to sell you this water machine. I mean, you don't go buy a dishwasher. Somebody says, let's have a meeting. We're going to discuss how hot the water is, what angle the water comes off from the jets. We're going to be like, does it get my dishes clean? Yeah. Does the water make you healthy? Yes. Stop.
Right.
Oh, our machine's better because it has the most molecular hydrogen, and we've got a hypochlorous acid. And no, I just ask people, are you interested in water? Are you interested in health? Yeah. Well, if you are, let me know. You know, for me, a big thing is drinking water and getting, the pesticides off the fruits and veggies I feed my kids. You can do that? Yeah.
So,
I sell the most machines when we go out and party on Saturday night and everybody has too many drinks, and then I give them a jug of water and they wake up and they don't have a hangover and they're like, what's the deal with the water? Need a machine. Like, I deal with doctors from a clinical side,
right.
but it's not, like, when I get into selling somebody, I don't talk about molecular hydrogen, active oxygen. I'm not talking about microclustering. I don't talk about any of that stuff.
What do you talk to a person who don't know anything about Kangen? How do you actually introduce Kangen to them?
Well, generally, I've run into people because they have a health condition. And I'm like, there's some other stuff you could research. Can I send you some information? Those letters are actually in the package.
In that online package you are talking about.
Email me at Dr. Michael Explains. Gmail. Dr. Michael Explains at gmail.com for the information. After annual research, emails, licensing, videos, and PowerPoints.
Dr. Michael, we still have 439 people
I know, like,
on Zoom,
I
eagerly.
know, an hour and a half later, I'm not that interesting.
You know what, bro? I've just dragged half of Asia to be here in front of the computer for you.
I am delivering. You didn't even know it's your Nespa.
We are going to squeeze all the juice out from you tonight, you know. But seriously,
You guys have 5G there? You having problems with that stuff yet? I'm still wearing that Q-Link I had years ago.
what is that? What is that on your neck?
It protects you from EMF,
Okay.
all that electromagnetic stuff. So yeah, that's our whole system. And I put my Dr. Michael Explains page in there, but that's my Japanese dragon.
Oh,
But it's
right.
got a biochip in it.
Ah,
So you're not as susceptible to EMF. Because one of the things the reason I love the water so much is I have what's called electromagnetic stress disorder. So like touching computers and phones, and it really just sucks the energy out of me.
right.
What happens is when you drink the water, you're actually replenishing the electrons in your body.
Right.
What the pendants do is they protect you from all the EMF.
I see. I used to be involved in a business that is promoting the pendants, you know.
Which one?
Before in Magic.
What did you look at?
Well, we can have that discussion on a separate basis on
Okay.
another.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, shortly we have to close the session with Dr. Michael. But if any one of y'all, let me see what's your response. If you guys want in the future, in the near future, I'll be working out something with Dr. Michael on a more of a training basis with you guys. If those of you who are interested to hear more from Dr. Michael, just give me a 5. Just press a 5 for me. Let me see if it's worth creating another event for you guys. Wow, can you see that? Can you
They
see
love
that?
me.
It's running like an F1 car. You know what, bro? I've got to get you back to Asia. This time, probably after the lockdown, let's travel to some very exotic places and do some real serious training together, all right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're looking to start hosting meetings here in the Atlanta area too.
Right.
Let's see if I.
Amazing. So everybody wants to hear a little bit more from you. And okay, Dr. Michael, before we end the session, just a few more things that some people want to know from your point of view. After 8 years of building this business, how do you still continuously keep the flame going? Like as if you have started this business from the first day and see that amazing experience with your daughter. How do you actually keep the flame going?
I send everybody to the Freedom Platform from automation and just keep it simple.
Okay.
I don't do a ton of work. I can overcomplicate things really fast.
Okay.
You can get so in your head
Right.
that you unsell something,
That's true.
and you know we're so excited we tend to vomit information all over. Like, no, that's not what we intended. They have a really good system for addressing people that want to make money online,
Right.
and that's why I joined with them. When I talk to clients, the very first thing we talk about is water.
Yep.
Because if I deal everything else and I don't talk about water, I'll say, so now we've done all this. This is the 28% of you that's not water. This is the 72% that is water.
Right.
So mine's more of a clinical setting than a whole get out there and
Yeah.
that makes
It's really amazing, Dr. Michael, that you talked about this, because being a very technical person yourself, and we saw you demonstrating that for the last half an hour or 45 minutes or something like that, and yet you are now telling us not to get too technical. So I'm so happy that you say this, because I've been saying this all my life in Enagic, telling people, don't get too technical, don't try to become a Dr. Kangen, you know. And it's very comforting hearing it from you, you know. as a very technical person?
I'm actually not technical. I'm
Okay.
good at technical.
You are what?
I'm not a technical person. I'm very good at technical.
Okay.
I am a let's go have fun person.
Yeah.
I can take extremely complex things and make it simple.
Okay.
And the simpler I can make it, the sooner I can go play.
Right.
The simplest thing is, by the water, my daughter pooped. And the yellows and the blues are like, let's go. The greens are going, but why did she poop? How did she poop? What was going on when she pooped? Why did you? I have a responsibility as a physician to be able to educate people because doctor means teacher. It
Right.
doesn't mean I'm better than you. It just means I'm a teacher. And if somebody had showed me some basic research early on,
Okay.
so for instance, you have somebody that's like, wow, I'm really dehydrated. You need our best water. It's great. It's got molecular hydrogen, active oxygen, hydrogen. It's got a high ORP. It will help you poop. It'll be hydrated. It'll detoxify your cells better. If you have cancer, it'll do this. And if you do this, it'll do this. And it'll do this. And it'll do this. And it'll do this. And they're like, whoa. You know,
Did that person who tried to introduce you Kangen water started off by telling you a ton of information about Kangen?
no, they talked about the specific issue. And that's where our condition emails come in for our physicians.
Okay.
I don't get into pesticides and the neurological benefits and how it's going to help heal their wounds with hypochlorous acid if they got. We're like, here's some information on cancer and electrolytes reduced water, and here's where we can point you to get more information. If you want more information, ask.
Right.
You're not. Networkers are notorious for anybody they can get. They're hunting.
Yeah.
And that's a very poor model. You're actually looking for people that are looking for you, if that makes sense.
Very. It is.
And if you keep it that simple, it doesn't get complicated. And a lot of times people are like, you know what, this isn't relevant to you, but I heard you say something about XYZ. There's some stuff that we can do that could help them. There's a lot of people that don't want help or they think they've already know everything and they've got all the information they need. Okay. Then they don't want your help. You know what I mean?
So be it.
And that's okay because I don't want someone telling me how to do something.
Exactly. So when you introduce somebody about Kangen, I believe it is obviously telling them about the product first, right? Am I right?
Yeah. If you look at my website, we've got Make a Life Worth Living.
Okay.
We talk about the 5 components of health.
Okay.
And it's Dr. Michael Page. It's what we really do.
Right.
Hydration,
Right.
food, rest. There's mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and financial health. We talk about all that.
Right.
Well, the number one thing is water. You're 72% water. It's not a hard conversation. They're all walking around with bottles.
Yeah.
You want something cheaper than that? That's even better? Sure. Did you know you know what's on your pesticides? How do we remove those?
Yeah, we literally have everything to address people's problems today. So next question, Dr. Michael. When do you start to migrate them to look at the business?
2 answers.
Yeah.
I deal with chiropractors only when I build.
Only
And
when you...
I've only dealt with healthcare providers as I build.
Okay.
I never built like you're a god when it comes to team building, and I'm not. Just a fact.
Okay.
I help physicians help their patients.
All right.
I had my mom. True story. So my dad died when I was 7, and he left as a disabled vet, and left my mom as a single mom
Okay.
with 3 kids to put through college. And my mom busted her ass for me to get ahead. Worked a couple of jobs, did whatever it took. And it's nice that I have the lake house and I can do all this stuff, but I got to a point where I'm like, how do I give back?
Right.
And who do I want to help? I want to help everybody. The reality is I can only help certain people, and you really generally only help people with your story.
That's true.
I can help single moms. I can help vets and disabled vets, and I can help parents that have had sick kids. That's my story. Now I can get into the martial arts and I can branch out, but my biggest niche is the fact that I'm a healthcare provider. I can help other healthcare providers help their patients with health issues. Again, that's kind of how the manual came about. Was that manual is actually what I've done to build my physician base and help the physicians help their patients with minimal amounts of effort. Now, when I go into building and I want to work with single moms and disabled vets, I use the Freedom Platform. I use the Creating Wealth with Dr. Michael because it takes them and says, here's what you can actually do. Here's how we help you. Here's how we build it. There's a group of like-minded people here, because I may not have a lot in common with a single mom,
okay,
but I know a lot of single moms on the platform, and I can connect them in a community where they keep growing and they help each other.
right.
And it's not about me building the biggest team. It's about me helping the most people. And you know what? A lot of my people in the Freedom Platform are people like you that are in other groups, that are in other lines. They just want it simplified.
Right.
By all means. Then we can still hang out online and have a blast. Because I'm sure when you build, there's a lot of people that are like, okay, you need to give out 3,000 gallons of water a month. You need to be delivering the water. And it's like, that's a job.
Yeah.
There's no fun. There's no freedom in that. It's a job. And it's like, how do you access and help people do what they love?
Right.
And the online space is perfect for that. And you can connect people. We got 400 people online right now.
Yep.
So I talk to people predominantly about the water.
Okay.
I market to people based on the business or health conditions.
Right.
Because I'm going after chiropractors.
Okay.
And then I'm looking to help single moms and disabled vets. The moms and the vets is about business. It's not about water. It's about business and creating a sustainable income. And here's another thing. You can make $100,000 a year with this system. Most people that are struggling are like, you're out of your mind. I can't even pay my electric bill. And so you take people with well, what if you could match your income?
Right.
Work 10 or 15 hours less a week. Would that give you more time for your family? That would be amazing. They believe they can make the amount of money. They'd like a little bit more time. That's a much easier approach than if you plug in my system and you go through all 12 times and you get this, you can be making 10 figures a month within 5 weeks. Bullshit.
Give them bite size, right? Bite size.
Yeah. When we, money's an issue for people across all spectrums. When we have a referral program where if you want to join the business and you can't buy a machine, if you sell 3 machines, I'm going to buy you a K8 to start. It's okay.
Right.
I got 5 of them.
Yeah. He's banging the door up there. Somebody's probably got. Go and see who's up there.
And so, if somebody wants to do the business and they sell 3 K8s, I buy them a K8 to start their business.
You buy them a K8?
You sell 3 K8s for me, I'm going to buy you a K8.
Okay. Oh, okay. Can you repeat that again? What do you mean by they sell 3 K8 and you buy a K8?
They want to do the business, but they can't afford a machine.
And they have a buyer.
They have buyers.
Okay.
Hey, yeah, do this. They sell. I turn around and I take the profits and I buy them a machine.
Amazing.
Then I've got a motivated seller that's like, yes, I want to do. That's perfect. somebody's like, ooh, this is kind of expensive, I'm not sure. Hey, we have a referral program. If you make 8 sales, it covers the cost of its own machine. A lot of people will sell 10 machines, but they don't want to do a business.
Right.
We get so hung up on you. Well, if you want to work with me, you need to buy a trifecta up front and have all your ducks in a row. Most people are like, they're right on the verge, especially with all the COVID garbage.
Right. They can't even afford one, and you expect them to get 3?
Again, I deal mostly with physicians because that's my niche.
Right.
And actually, there's a lot of people that buy trifectas. I sell mostly trifectas, actually.
So your trifecta is basically a K8, Anaspa, and a Ukon.
Right. For the year.
Is that a Ukon Sigma or Ukon DD?
Sigma for the year.
For the year.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
If you have a credit card and you buy a K8,
Okay.
it's going to be $54 a month minimum monthly payment.
Right.
You realize that if you buy the K8, the Anespa, and the Sigma Ukon,
Okay.
you're looking at $108 a month.
Right.
And we'll have to make a sale every 6 or 7 weeks and pay for the whole thing.
It's a no-brainer.
You're looking at $100 a month,
Right.
and most people will do that going out to dinner. If you're me, it's a couple $100 to go to dinner just because I got 5 kids.
I've got 4.
You know what I mean, though? I mean, it's
Yeah.
It's not a reach when you break it down. Like, how much are you spending a month in bottled water?
That's true.
$30 a week. Are you cooking with it? Lord, no, I couldn't afford to do that. Well, for the same amount of money, you can get
Yeah.
water machine, the shower unit, the Ukon. Really?
So
I also create sample packs of my Ukon and let people try it for a week. They either like it or they don't.
right. You let them try for a week, and how many a day do you expect them to consume?
I give them 2 cards and 6 tea bags.
Right. I see. So far, you are building within the U.S. market, or have you actually branched out to Europe?
I got
Or
doctors everywhere.
come again?
I have doctors everywhere.
Right. Asia too?
Not as many actually. No.
Okay. You're just
UK,
waiting for me, right?
talking to in Ireland, Europe, a lot in Canada, some in Mexico.
Come over to Asia. We'll do
Send
a
me a
lot
ticket.
together.
Do we get everybody's questions?
Yeah, there are too many questions, and a lot of them are very compliance sensitive, so I don't want to get very deep
I
in.
know the feeling.
Yeah, I hope you understand. And guys, I hope you guys understand as well. I don't want to get you in trouble, get me in trouble, get Dr. Michaels in trouble. Okay,
No.
anyway,
On that note, one other thing.
yes, go ahead. Sure.
Otto Warburg never said that disease can't exist in an alkaline environment. That is a lie.
Please
There's
mention.
a lot of diseases that exist in an alkaline environment.
Okay, so he did not say that, right? So
You're
who?
hustling water and lying to people.
Oh, okay. So guys,
Claim.
take note of that. Yeah, probably somebody is trying to make some suggestion out of that. Okay. Anyway,
So if anybody wants access to the manual, we'll get your people to it for half price.
okay.
Just give me an email at Dr. Michael Explains and say manual, and we'll have a conversation and see if they want to use it. It's for any healthcare provider, people that are involved with healthcare, and they want to talk cleanly about how electrolyzed reduced water can help people.
Right. All right. Dr. Michaels, once again, thank you so much for your amazing sharing. Guys, if you all want to say your thanks to Dr. Michael, please feel free to punch it into the text message there. If you want to share your gratitude, if you get a lot of value from today's session, please feel free to put it on the text message so that later we can have this out and I can send this to Dr. Michael. And of course,
Bro, we had nearly 400 people on for 2 hours. That's insane.
that's amazing, right? Awesome.